This is about defending democracy. This is no longer Democrats versus Republicans. What do you want your kids to believe in? There must be give and take.
This is White Flag with Joe Walsh.
I converted another Trump supporter last night. A longtime supporter of mine. She had gone south on me 5-6 years ago when I publicly turned against Trump. And for the last 5 or 6 years, she would check in with me once every couple of months, and she'd check in with me. Not really. She would yell at me, call me every name under the sun, a traitor, a turncoat, a Democrat, a rhino, all of that, because I turned against Trump. So for 3 or 4 years, as I went off against Trump in the public square, she would go off on me privately. But she would engage and she would communicate with me. And we began to interact more in the last few months. And I could see her tone on Trump changed a little bit. And I was patient. And I'd ask her questions, and she'd ask me again why I so vehemently oppose Trump. And let me be clear, this woman was a strong MAGA, a strong, solid, ardent Trump supporter. But I'd tell her that she's better than what Trump is, that Trump appeals to the very worst in her, that Trump lies to her all the time, that Trump doesn't think very highly of her. And I could tell over some time that this was beginning to register with her. And then in the last month or so, especially since Biden got out and Kamala Harris became the nominee, and for the last 3 to 4 weeks, Trump has been unhinged. Just unhinged, even for him. This has troubled her. And so we've spoken a few times in the last few weeks. And finally, last night, she said, I can't vote for him. This was mind-bending from where we were 4 to 5 years ago. She said she couldn't vote for him. I asked her why she's saying that now. And she said, look at him now, Joe. He's off his rocker. It's going to be 4 years of this. He's even more mean and more cruel than he's been before. I said, and I asked her, I was blown away by it, and I asked her, does that mean you're going to vote for Kamala Harris? And she said, yes, maybe. And I could see she was wavering. But again, I did with her what I've done the last few years is I just gently listened to her and tried to respond. And when she said, maybe, yeah, I'll vote for Harris, but I'm not sure. I've never voted for a Democrat before. Joe, this is a big step. I finally acknowledged I can't vote for Trump. I said to her, I asked her, do you want the Republican Party to change? Do you want it to be this Trump party anymore? And she said, no, I don't want it to be his party. And then I just gently said, well, the fastest and the quickest way to make that happen is for Trump to lose, and for Trump to lose decisively. If you want the Republican Party, I said gently, to get back to a place where it stands for freedom and free markets, and it's tolerant, and it stands for limited government and the rule of law and democracy. If you want it to get back to that, Trump needs to get his ass kicked this November. And so we do that by all of us voting against him. And she said that makes sense. And she said, now I think I'll vote for Kamala Harris. And I didn't push beyond that, and I'm not certain she will, but I'm certain that I'll speak with her again a couple times before the election. But she moved off of Trump. This hardcore MAGA former supporter of mine. I only bring this up to say this. I go after Donald Trump with everything I've got every single day. I do not go after Trump's supporters. I do not believe Trump supporters are bad people. I believe Trump has zero regard for his supporters. He lies to them. He uses them. He takes advantage of them. He's fooled them. But they are better than he thinks they are. And that's part of what I say every time I engage with a Trump supporter. You're better than Trump thinks you are. We're better than what Trump thinks we are. We're a better country. We're a better people. I say this all the time to Trump supporters. I said it regularly to this woman, this hardcore Trump supporter. And I know it sunk in. I know over time it sunk in, and it got her to this place where she could no longer support Trump. She will no longer vote for Trump, and she's considering now seriously of voting for Kamala Harris. I will never give up on Trump supporters. I will never badmouth Trump's supporters. I do believe they're better than he thinks they are. And for every Democrat listening to me right now, I'm a reformed Trump supporter. I'm a reformed MAGA gangbanger. They all can be saved. They all can open their eyes to the truth about Trump. I believe that because I see that on a regular basis. I'm Joe Walsh. Thanks for listening. This is White Flag with Joe Walsh. Joe Walsh White Flag at gmail.com. All one word if you want to email me. Joe Walsh White Flag at gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow White Flag with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been White Flag with Joe Walsh.